Welcome, everyone. We are starting today's training called Are You Coachable? Meaning, do you listen to advice when you hear how people are building this business? Are you following what they're doing, or are you trying to forge your own path that maybe not working? You know, you need to be coachable, meaning listening to the people that have already made it happen, which is the main reason that we've done all these trainings this month.
Yeah, it's hard. Here's my best example because they're not here. Our kids, right? They've been on, I think their fourth or fifth diet now. Fourth or fifth,
Something like that.
whatever, diet plan. You would think, right? Common sense, you would think at one point in time, they would go, Kelly did this thing. Boom! Instant results. Still has it off like, man, totally worked. Not coachable. Not like they won't do what I did. So guess what? They're on their number 5 or 4 or 5 plan now because they're not coachable. And then what happens? They end up blaming the plans and not themselves. So the first part about being coachable is, number one, sit down and be quiet and don't take it personally. Because people that want to coach you, usually are in a position where they value their time and they don't want to waste it. So the minute that you don't take the coaching, they don't want to give it, or they want to charge enormous prices so that you actually will show up or do it. And even then, people don't do it. So being coachable is actually doing the actual verbatim doing of what the coach is telling you to do, right?
So actually, that's probably the first part, which is, who are you listening to? Who are you listening to when it comes to being coachable? Have you checked out their track record? That's important, right? It's funny. In fact, Tina D'Angelo and I this morning were having a chat, and she says her family and friends don't listen to her because they know her. My family, when I say anything about science, I could verbatim what Tina says. They go, but you failed science in high school. That is true. They're not going to listen to a word I say. I am not the person to be coachable when it comes to the body and how the body works and science, right? Tina is, right? When it comes to doing like great graphics, I love making them, but they always look crappier than when I just let Julia do it. So every time she does one, I always ask if I can be on Zoom with her and watch her. Like, I'm learning as we go, right? I don't try to do it myself alone anymore because it's never good. So, you know, you have to also know who you're watching. For example, I get a lot of calls from people that say, oh, leads program, right? Leads, buy these leads, and these are the greatest leads. And right, you guys have, I love it when people call me like that. I go, that's amazing. If your leads are that great, I can't wait to use them. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to give you a $25 position in this company. And the minute you have 100 personals that are sponsored because of your leads program, I'm going to tell everybody on our team to start using it. How many people have taken me up on that? 0. I'm not going to take coaching on how to get prospects and leads from somebody who can't prove it first. To me, that's the same thing. Network marketing leaders are the same way. You can't show me a check from 18 years ago and make me go, oh, we need to bring you in right away. No, I want to know what you did yesterday and what you're going to do tomorrow. Right? So to me, being coachable is also following the right people. Like, we've had some calls, we've had some great guest trainers and speakers here, but we don't just like willy-nilly pick you know how many people come to us and say, I want to do a free training for your team. Lots of people do that. But the end goal is clearly to sell a book or sell a program, which is fine if that person has a proven track record. And I would consider being coached by them, right? So being coachable on one end, but also to be the coach is right? You got to pay attention both ways.
The difference between, I guess, being the student and the coach is measurable results consistently over a long period of time. So when Tina said who you're listening to, Like 9 out of 10 network marketers on Facebook that are beating their chest. I got a program, come take my course, come do my lead system, whatever it is. 9 out of 10 of them, had like one-hit wonders in one company 20 years ago. And they donned themselves the network marketing guru, coach, specialist, master, whatever it is. But when I say how many people you have on your team or that were in your last company, you personally sponsors, and they can't show me, why do I want to listen to you? Right? You go to a bum on the street saying, hey man, how do I get rich? Right? Nobody's going to listen to that person. But we all listen to family members, right? The experts, the resident experts that we grew up with, they know everything, literally everything. Mine does still to this day. They refuse to do my company. Oh, they're going to get me. And I laugh every day, as they go to work and I don't. So
let's talk about the last month of trainings. I'm going to pull up the list because we've had a lot of opportunities to be coachable, not just you guys, us too, right? We've had a lot of opportunity to hear things we've not heard before, to hear things we've heard many times before and maybe not followed yet, right? We'll start with Michael Bernoff. How many notes did you take? I took at least 3 pages of notes. And not just taking the notes, but how many things have you done? I've done one. Like one specific action that I took from those notes, right? What is keeping you from winning? We talked about fears, right? We talked about conquering the main fears that hold people back from doing this business. And we talked about ways to get past those fears. How many of those have you implemented in the last couple of weeks? That's what being coachable is. So I'm sure you've heard this from Michael, because I'm the same way. When it comes to reading a book, I hardly ever finish them. Hardly never. Because I read the book until I get to the point and I go, that's what I needed to hear. And I take action on it immediately. And then I kind of forget about the rest of the book because I'm like, I got what I needed from it at that moment in time. Now I may pick up the book a month and a half or 3 months or a year and a half or 5 years later and get a totally different message from that book because I'm a different person than I was last month, last year, 5 years ago. So I read the same books over and over, but I get a completely different reason of why I picked it up at that point in time and what it can be coachable to me for, right? So you guys, there's how many people? 18 people on this call. I see as very coachable because if you weren't, you wouldn't be here today. How many people did we start with? How many did we have on the first one? 70, 60, 62
something.
people, something
Yep.
like that on the first one. And I know a lot of people are watching replays, which is excellent. But you 18 people, in my opinion, are super coachable. That's why you're here. Because you're not just hearing the information, letting it go in one ear and out the other. You're taking action on it, or you wouldn't keep coming back to hear another thing. And that's why we broke it down into 15-minute pieces. So it's easy to find that one thing. We talked about confidence in your products and your business. That was amazing because even just hearing Kathleen and Tina talk about confidence in our products, I took notes and made sure to implement at least 2 of the things I heard them say. And I added it into the next person I prospected into what I said to them. Right? That to me, I'm coachable from them. Like I said, it goes both ways here. But how many notes do you take and how many times do you actually do something that you saw? Like the daily action plan, right? A lot of you are posting it every day. I love it. I love to see that because it shows how coachable you are. We said to get to where we are, these 23 things a day are optimal, 22 things a day, and you guys started doing it right away. I think that's amazing.
All right. So I want to compliment everybody for being here again. And if you're watching this on the replay, I want to compliment you as well too, because here's the thing. If you're sitting there wondering and have been asking yourself up to this point, like, man, wouldn't that be great? Or when's it going to be me? Just so you know, you don't need our permission, right? you don't need our permission to bypass us. You got it. If you do, you got it. You got our permission to do it, like totally. I'm the most competitive person you'll meet. Please, when you think of me, I hope you come by me and say, hey, man, like I cannot wait to just see you in the dust. I hope you say that. I hope you do it. You know, I love that. But in order to be competitive, right, you got to be challenged. And I'm challenging you all, right? Because it's up to you now, right? It's on you. Whatever's happening this year, whatever's going to be created is all on your shoulders right now, moving forward. And it's a little bit of a burden, I know, to think of that like that. But if it's not like that, right, then you're just playing, right? This is just a hobby and you're just playing. You know, there's other things you could be doing and you probably will do it and get distracted with, but you're just playing. But if you take it on, like it's up to you, the success of this company and your country is up to you. Are you going to take it on like that? That's the way Tina and I take it on. And like we were so determined, right? Nothing was going to like sway us. Nothing got in the way. The path was so clear, nothing could get in the way of that. But that's the way it's got to be for you, but not for me. You got to do it for you. If you've never had that in your life before, where you did something for you, and it's this uncharted territory, congratulations. It's going to feel great. I'm telling you, you're going to feel so proud of yourself when you get to that point where you always thought you could never get to. Cancel that thought, and are on your path to the realization of, holy crap, I'm going to actually do something I said I was going to do this year, and I'm going to show everybody what it's going to look like.
Well, and here's what we're going to notice is in the next few months, we're going to know. We won't even have to ask, are you coachable? We're just going to know. Because did you change something about making your body healthier? Right? Because Tina and Pamela trained on that. Are you making time in your day, 15 minutes at a time? From Pamela and Julia, did you take a tip from there? Are you doing your action plan? Are you taking a step every day to overcome fear? Are you being unstoppable? Are you making committed? Did you do a vision board after Ruth trained on that? Did you go out and add a couple things to your vision board? Did you maybe put it in a different place like she recommended? Right? I know there's been discouragements and there's going to be more discouragements. Did you write down a tip or two that Sherry and Julia shared about how to get past that? Like, that's what I'm looking at. Like all of these things. Did you go out and get a power partner after you heard Lori and Kathleen train on that and see how powerful that was for them? Did you go out and get one? Right? So coachable, meaning that the people that are doing these trainings for you, the corporate directors that put this schedule together, they're not just doing this for the fun of it. They're doing it because they want to help you simply, very simply add something every day. Think about what it's going to look like in a year from now. If you just take one thing from every training you've heard of how many trainings did we do this month? 20 something. There's going to be 20 something. What if you just took one thing from each training and implemented it? Think about that. What is your business going to look like? So that was the training today I had. So you want to finish
I
it
have
out?
2 things to share, left to share. One of them has nothing to do with anything, but I wanted to share it anyway. Because yesterday, I came home from going to 2 places, and normally I'm somebody that just does not ask for help. And yesterday I had to undress and dress myself twice. And both times I had to ask the person there to help me put on my socks because I literally can't do it. I mean, thank goodness I could get in my underwear. It takes a minute, but at least I could do that in the pants and, but the socks are just, I can't. And I successfully just said, hey, would you mind? Would it be okay if you help me? I just can't, just like the one thing I can't do. They like ran over practically. Oh, sure, no problem, whatever. And I'm sure like my socks don't smell great or whatever. I'm like, to me, it's like, oh, the most vile thing. Like, and I can't believe they just voluntarily just did it, right? And I got home that day, I'm thinking, well, doggone it, if they're gonna do that, then I'm gonna sign somebody up by the end of this doggone promotion. And so I only made a few calls, guys. I didn't call the whole, I just sat and I'm like, okay. You know, I'm gonna make a few calls and boom, and it happened like, just like that.
gotta
And I just made up my mind, right? That it was gonna happen based upon if I could get people to put on socks for me, pure strangers, for sure I can do, get a couple people on the hook before the end of the promotion and do it. But, that again is being coachable by doing what you're also asking other people to do. People will follow you when they see you doing what you want them to do. And they will do it because they see you doing it. It works hand in hand. So when we say people are going to do what you do, it's no joke.
It's like
If you go on vacation, guess who else is? Your team, unless you set it up. Right?
It's my favorite response when people say, I can't get any of my team on the Tuesday calls. And I say, well, when was the last Tuesday call you were on? Oh, 5 months ago. Well, that's why. People will absolutely do what you do and not what you say. So by you guys coming on these calls, your team's going to come on these calls. Their team's going to come on these calls. But the people not benefiting are the people that don't show up. How many times have you heard somebody say in network marketing, the number one thing you do for your business is show up for your business? And if you're not showing up, then you're not coachable, right? That's the theme for today, is you have to be coachable. And it starts with just showing up for your business.
It just takes the little things. The compound effect. If you haven't read that book, read the book,
That
The
is a good
Compound
book.
Effect by Darren Hardy, right?
Mhm.
Darren
Yeah.
Hardy.
It is a great book.
Great book. It's just doing little things over a long period of time, consistently add up to monumental successes. Oh, and that was the second thing that I was going to say. Like people only see the tip of the iceberg.
Mhm.
And if you just knew, like I now know, that I could grow a Mexican fan palm tree here in Arizona to 11.2 feet in 1 year and 9 months. And I am not an arborist by any means at all. But that actually happened from this big, a seedling I took from a barn and I replanted it. And here's the thing, all I did was just water it a little bit every week. And now that palm tree that I planted, that was that big, is valued at over $10,000 because that's what they cost to go buy them that size. But I didn't do much, guys. I didn't do much. I just did a little bit over a long period of time. And I put a little fertilizer in there. And you wouldn't believe, you just do little things like fertilizer, and like the leaves are green. My blood orange trees are like super good, tasty now. I mean, and all I did was just a little tweak, right?
Okay, but wait,
And
but I have to say, how much research did you do on different kinds of fertilizer and you did. I saw you looking up different fertilizer. So it's not like he picked a fertilizer and just started doing it, right? You watched some videos on it. You were coachable.
Yeah.
From the experts who know about fertilizer. I don't know anything. You don't. The people you watch videos on, you didn't look up some guy who started researching fertilizer yesterday. You looked up fertilizer experts and started watching the people that are experts. And then you took their advice, right? Same thing. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but go ahead.
No, that's just it. It's fun. Number one, it's like, I look at it, I'm like, holy cow, like that's amazing. What happened? I know we're just talking about a little tree or whatever. It's not, but go plant a tree. And then 10 years, just think if you would have done one little action 10 years ago, like start a business like this, what would it be looking like today? Would it be a giant 60-foot fir tree? I don't know. But it could be. You know, it could grow super fast, like I'm experiencing. You know, there's no rules on it. That's the cool thing. But it's up to you. Take it on like nothing happens because until you make your move. And nothing in the company, nothing happens because it's all on your shoulders. We're all counting on you, by the way. And I know that everybody hearing me say that, I am talking to you. Everyone is counting on you this year to make it happen.
Okay, and I gotta end with this because it just came to me and it's really good. When we went to Survivor Summer Academy, we watched 9 seasons of Survivor in 3 weeks. Do you think maybe us being coachable on that, we took notes, we watched it, we rewound it, we said, ooh, look at his foot placement on that pole. Oh, look at the way she's got her arm around the thing. Look at the way they're unraveling those things. Like we rewound it and we really watched it because we are coachable. I don't know how to do any of that stuff that we did, but because we had that knowledge and we were coachable and filled so much of it in our brain before we went, we clearly had an advantage over the people who didn't watch Survivor and study it, right? Because every time we looked at a challenge, we would huddle up our team and go like this. Oh, we know how this one works. We got to do this. We got to have a team. Who's the strongest in this area? We knew. And I think that's what got us over to the win, is because we had that extra knowledge and we were coachable enough to not think, oh, Survivor, we've seen that before, we'll be fine. No, we hoarded the videos and stayed up for hours and hours and hours and hours being coachable.
Yeah. And are you doing that right now for your business? Are you setting yourself up to win? You just heard Tina, like, well, I told you, I'm the most competitive person you will ever meet, even though I don't go and gloat and do that whole thing. I don't do that, but I am, when I'm determined to win, I'm going to win. And it just doesn't and so we were that prepared because we were definitely, in my mind, I didn't go there just to go there. I went there for one reason, that was to win, period. And so, but if you take that on, all right, take your business on like that. If like this year, if you take it on, the weight of everything, right? And it's like, oh, well, we don't want to put stress on ourselves. Yes, you do. In this case, you do. Because without that stress, you're not going to get up in the morning. You're not going to make the calls. You're not going to do what it takes because there's nobody putting pressure on you. And you're not putting the pressure on yourself. So I'm putting on you, telling you the weight of everything is on your shoulders this year. It's up to you to make it happen. I hope you do it. We're all counting on you. We are literally all counting on you. You showed up for this, you signed up for it, and you want results, and doggone it, we want to deliver them. And this is how we're going to get them. Guys, it's all up to you. Everything is on your shoulders.